Report has it that the leadership of the Academic Staff Union of Nigerian Universities, ASUU, held a meeting at Usmanu Danfodio University, Sokoto, uh, and held a press conference afterwards, saying that with the president of ASUU, Professor Chris Piwanu, saying that the union rejects the loan scheme of President Bola Ahmed Tinubu, that the union knows nothing about, and rather than key into the loan scheme, that government should release the withheld salaries arising from the 2022 strike by the union, and to implement the 2009 agreement that has been severally renegotiated but not implemented by government since 2013. As I have always said, ASUU leadership cannot blame the government alone for the non-implementation, because ASUU leadership has been ending every strike with getting the fraudulent and academic allowance from government since 2013, when the implementation of the agreement was due, and that the last time federal universities workers, academic and non-academic, got increment of salaries statutorily was 2009. Another increment was due in 2013, including the implementation of the 2009 agreement. But since then till now, till 2025, ASUU leadership has been colluding with government to pay a bribe called earned academic allowance. And so, and after paying that, ASUU leadership always called off strike with one excuse or another, getting personally enriched from the bribe called earned academic allowance, to the detriment of common federal universities workers, academic and non-academic, since the bribe is shared with the non-academic unions, which leaders also enrich themselves from the scam. Now, this year, ASUU leadership has gotten another fraudulent and academic allowance. And so when the leadership started to threaten government with another strike, federal universities workers were happy. But only for the Minister of Education, Dr. Al-Maruf Alausa, to say that ASUU president was not serious, because they are in communication, and that there is not going to be anything called strike. So now that government, rather than attending to the 2009 agreement, came up with loan, and members I've been waiting for how ASUU leadership will react. ASUU leadership has rejected the loan, but again, rather than stressing the 2009 agreement, is asking for withheld salaries of 2000 and of 2022. Out of 7.5 months, the government has paid half. 4 months, more than half, and the remaining 3.5 months with her salaries are not as important as the 2009 agreement. Worst of all, ASUU leadership has developed cold feet and does not threaten government again with strike since the Minister for Education, Dr. Olatunji, denied and described the ASUU threat of strike as fake news. And now, to prove that Dr. Olatunji is right, ASUU is unable to threaten another strike, saying that ASUU will set a day of protest to protest the non-implementation of the 2009 agreement and non-release of withheld salaries of 2022 strike. Where are we going from here? You can see the straightforwardness of the Academic Staff Union of Nigerian Polytechnics, giving government 21 days ultimatum, during which government must meet the needs of the polytechnic workers, or face nationwide strike, as it used to be with ASUU also. But since ASUU leadership became corrupt, amending the union's constitution to be extorting 3% of each ASUU members' monthly salary since 2012. Since 2012, 2012 to 2024, 2% of each ASUU members' monthly salary and again in 2024 increased to 3% till date 2025. And in 2025 got another fraudulent end academic allowance, are now unable to declare strike, rather a day of protest. What strike of many months could not do, ASUU will now use a day of protest to achieve. Even then, not focused on the 2009 agreement, but created another distraction of withheld salaries. So what is ASUU's priority? Well, ASUU leadership has kept saying that the welfare of ASUU members is not the overarching priority of ASUU. So, ASUU leadership has gotten another end academic allowance this year, 2025, became multimillionaire as usual, giving what they like to the members, since the allowances of members were not calculated, but a bribe given to ASUU leadership, shared with the non-academic unions to the benefit of the leaders of the unions, detriment of the common workers. So That is where we find ourselves. Yes, it's good to reject the loan because, as I said in another video, that Tinubu is bringing to Nigeria, is trying to impose loan mentality on Nigeria, borrowing culture, which has ruined many lives of American citizens because of easy access to loan. They become hooked and their lives are miserable at the end of the day. So the culture of borrowing, of loan taking that Tinubu is bringing must be rejected, as the tertiary academic institutions workers are rejecting it, including ASUU. But how can you say you want to give loan instead of living wage to workers, instead of welfare packages for workers, better salaries and allowances? No, you want to give loan. You are giving loan to, or you claim to be giving loan to indigent students, promise to be transferring funds to indigent households, all manners of, unimaginable, corrupt, fraud-prone schemes. So, good. ASUU leadership has rejected it, but unlike the leadership of the Academic Staff Union of Polytechnics, ASUU leadership is unable to give government a definitive date within which to implement the 2009 agreement or face strike. But a day will be announced when Nigerian university workers will protest throughout Nigeria. Protest. So, I said it once. I said ASUU is dead. And that's the fact. Nationally and in many branches, corruption has killed ASUU. The Nigerian Minister for Education say, no, it is not true that ASUU is going on strike. I'm in communication with the leadership. And now it's clear. ASUU dropped the strike threat, replaced with a day of protest throughout Nigeria.